Yo, what up, man? Chris, my check back in, man. Back with the blog, man. Make that like button, subscribe button away, and I appreciate all the support, man. Salute to everybody. Hope you guys is having a good weekend. I'm kind of tired, man. It's early as hell over here, man. I know, what am I, 3 hours behind East Coast? So it's about 7:45, 8 a.m. over here. You can see I'm carrying all these boxes, man. I'm taking them to California right now. I have made it to California. You know, I was in Birmingham, a couple days ago. I done got all the way to California, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm over here in California now. A lot of driving, you know what I'm saying? If all y'all guys hit me up about getting in the trucking business, a lot of driving. You can make some good money, but it's definitely a lot of driving. So, but I have made it, man. God willing, I have made it. I want to talk about this chess Yunus announcement. But before I get into that, I was thinking about something. Now, you know, we criticize URL a lot for the contracts and stuff. That was something we criticize a lot about contracts. And if you look at battle rap right now, you might be like, well, battle rap is kind of lit. You know what I'm saying? It got a lot of leagues, a lot of league owners are taking battle rap into their own hands. And, you know, it's a good thing. You got Chilla, you got Geechee Gotti and the Riot, you got TOS with True Foe, you got T-Top got a league. Obviously, you got Bags and Bodies, Bullpen, the list goes on of multiple leagues. But I was thinking about something, and I thought about this with Loso, because I've been talking to Loso a little bit lately about basketball, but he actually has a lot of battles coming up. And right here, let me show y'all this. Right here, let me get it all together. You know, T-Top got a tournament, right? It's called the Hunting Season Tournament, right there. If you look at the bottom, you can see. Let me zoom in. Loso's in it right there. You see Loso right there, right? So he's a part of this tournament that's going on for $10,000. Salute to T-Top. He got a few up-and-comers, but Loso is one of the more established battlers who's in the tournament. Okay, so he has that battle. He also battles this guy named Showstopper, right? You see him at the top of the flyer right there. Loso versus Showstopper. Okay, so that's two battles, right? Let's keep it going. He also has him and Charlie Clips coming up, right? Salute to this league right here. Whoever doing this now or never league, they an upcoming league. I ain't gonna lie. They've been booking a lot of good talent. See, they got the money to book Clips. They didn't book Clips, Twerk, A-Ward, Loso. Like they pulling some of the heavy hitters in battle rap. So be on the lookout for them. I'm not really sure where they out of or whatever, or who's running the league or nothing, but I've been seeing they on a lot of flyers now, so I think they are a league that we got to pay attention to for the remainder of the year, because they've been booking some top names. But anyway, back to Loso. That's 3 battles, right? So one of the problems with battle rap, it's a lot of problems with battle rap, but one of the problems with battle rap is it used to mean something when you won or lost a battle. That don't really exist anymore. But when you lost a battle, you would get sat down, or it took a real hit to your stock. One of the major problems in battle rap, other than like lack of promotion and all this other stuff that's going on, is there's so many battles, it's hard to keep up with what's going on. There's so many small leagues mixed with the big leagues, and small leagues are trying to be big leagues and all this kind of stuff. And there's so many people that's taking battles around the same time that the battles either get lost in the shuffle or they don't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? There was a time like a Clips versus Loso battle would have been a pretty big battle on URL. You know what I'm saying? They would have threw it on like a some type of card, Redemption, or, you know, the URL used to have a lot of cards. This battle would have meant something. And I'm not saying it don't mean nothing. I don't want to shit on a league or whatever. I'm not saying it don't mean anything. But Loso would have never been like, oh, I can take Charlie Clips and then hop into a tournament and also take this Showstopper nigga. Loso would have never felt like he could even do that with Clips, and do it on URL, because you lose the Clips on URL, it really sets your stop back. You know what I'm saying? Because you lost a URL battle that was a big battle, pay-per-view, or maybe it wasn't pay-per-view or whatever. If you go back to the hairy days when we used to have to wait on the video to drop, you couldn't afford to take Clips for 3 rounds and then hop into a tournament and do this. But this is where battle rap is now. Which brings me back to URL. We used to give URL a lot of flack for contracts. I know I've been critical of them a little bit in contracts as well, so I won't act like I haven't. This is why they were doing contracts, bro. This is why they were doing contracts right here. If Loso was under contract with URL, he wouldn't be able to battle all these people, and he wouldn't oversaturate himself, and he wouldn't overextend himself, and he wouldn't diminish the value of a Clips battle by having him battle so much before that people don't want to see him, or battle so much before that he lost the battle and then lost the momentum. URL was always trying to keep the energy at URL and not have you go to King of the Dot and lose and fuck up the energy. So as much as we sometimes want to get on them, like, yo, y'all niggas was stopping niggas from eating, when you don't have any kind of rules in battle rap, when you don't got any kind of rules on really anything, and you let like the quote unquote inmates run the asylum, this is what happened. And I'm not saying Loso is not a known choker. He could probably get through his rounds, but I mean, the shit go on with a lot of people. You see it with Twerk and other battlers. They just own every fucking flyer. Twerk could be on the Gates of the Garden card. He'll be on this card. He'll be on URL. He got a battle coming up on TBL. I heard about. He got so much stuff coming up, and then he'll like, showed A Ward. So it's always some stuff that's going on. But when the leagues were in charge, this is the battle rappers in charge, bro. And I feel like the battle rappers don't necessarily want to, like, Hitman is not going to want to tell Twerk he can't do a battle. He can't go get money over here. He can't do a battle. The leagues don't give a fuck. They will. ARP will put in his contract like, yo, you can't take a battle 30 days within my max out battle. And if you sign a contract, you were forced to not take a battle. I don't think John, Hitman, Chilla John, I don't think they'll do that. I think they look at a peer or whatever, like, I don't want to put them kind of restrictions, but you kind of do need to have rules, because niggas will just battle. Loso got battles the same weekend. Loso got two battles this weekend. He got the tournament and he got the showstopper battle. So he has two battles this weekend, and this is what niggas will do if you don't put anything in place. So as much as we criticize URL, maybe they knew that this was a possibility. Like, yo, y'all niggas just gonna go crazy, try to get every last dollar y'all can get any way possible, even if it means that y'all diminish our returns in a way that just like, we gotta put something in place. I just wanted to say that real quick because I do feel like that is a problem in battle rap. And when you battle on leagues, it meant more if you lost badly. See, Loso can lose this Clips battle, and because it's on this now or never league, it's a small league. It might fly under the radar. It might only get 100, 150, 200,000 views, and then people will be like, may not even realize at the end of the year he lost the Clips. If you lost the Clips on URL, it was probably one of the only 5 or 6 events they did the whole year. That Clips battle stung for the remainder of the year. You couldn't shake that motherfucker off like you can do another battle. Loso can shake this off, and people won't even bring this up too much. You know what I'm saying? It won't even really mean a whole lot to where Loso is in battle rap. When it was on URL or a Max Out 3 or Summer Madness or a NOME or a card, that URL used to make, the redemption cards and the rookies and vets and all these different cards, theme cards that URL did, losing to Clips on URL bit your ass for the rest of the year. You had to sit on that loss for a while. I just wanted to have this conversation with y'all and tell y'all that, but just my thoughts. What else? Y'all was getting on me about Joe Budden, my comments about Joe Budden or whatever. So maybe I was tripping. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind taking accountability. Maybe I was ODing a little bit on Joe Budden. So if I was, I apologize. So let me just say that real quick. All right, we got Chess and Yunus. It was announced, right? The NOME event is at Gramercy Theater. It's at Gramercy Theater. I guess it holds about 700 people, give or take. So it's a pretty big stage, you know what I'm saying? I think T-Top and Clips was at that same venue. So URL has been there before, going down in June, 3rd week of June, if I'm not mistaken. So Gramercy Theater, Yunus will be getting his first like real big stage battle in New York. I like the matchup. I'm gonna be honest with you, I like the matchup a lot. I feel like the fact that it was announced first probably lets me know that it's probably the lowest battle on the card. I'm thinking, no, URL normally announces the main event first, but they're not doing that. So Chess and Yunus is probably a battle that might open a card. I like that because people be paying attention on the first few battles. That tiredness don't sit in yet. You be paying attention. And I think it's a big test for Yunus. A lot of people be looking at Yunus like he a superstar. I hear people in spaces talking about he a potential superstar or whatever. I'm very much on record saying Yunus will never be a superstar in battle rap. I think he can be a star. I think he can be good. Never a superstar. He'll never be a Surf. He'll never be a Rock. He'll never be a Twerk. He'll never be like the Verbs, the Hitmans. He won't be like that. That'll never happen. I tell you, a lot of times with that, it takes a lot of emulation. You have to want to be a certain way. You look at someone like Hollow the Don, nigga just come out with LOM and niggas is wearing LOM shirts. You know what I'm saying? Wearing LOM shirts. Ballers are wearing it in their battles and stuff like that. People are buying it off the website. I felt like that was a pretty successful clothing brand, at least for a battle rapper. You look at Geechee Gotti, comes in with the gang bang shit. Next thing you know, everybody throwing out flags and gang banging. You know what I'm saying? Rex is a Crip, for crying out loud. It was not saying that he started the gang banging. Obviously, you had Hitman, Suge, Arts, all them, but I felt like he made it popular, and now it ain't nothing for a nigga to claim they're a gangbang. And I think Geechee Gotti helped make that popular, which is why I talk about emulation or whatever. So we talk about all these different things, and I just feel like that you got to have some type of emulation. And with Yunus, he already don't really promote a lot. You look at the fact, I keep harping on the fact he's a virgin. I just feel like people not gonna want to emulate that. You know what I'm saying? He looks like a little kid. He doesn't really look like a street nigga. Battle rap is attached to the street element. So there's a lot that you don't really, with Yunus, you don't have an emulation. So I feel like that's where his ceiling stops. Now, could he be a star? Yeah, and a star is good. You know what I'm saying? If URL is able to pluck a nigga off the crucible and turn him into a star, that's good. If Yunus can go in here and clear Chess, like clear him. And especially if he clears him and it's like not due to Chess like throwing up. Like obviously if Chess throws up in the first round or fucking has to leave the stage and doing the burpees and niggas got to go get a bucket and he just like, yo, you know, whatever he be doing. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know what he be doing, acting like he's about to put in a shirt like this. If he actually raps 3 rounds like he did versus Easy and Yunus can still beat him, I think Yunus can get up to the star level, because that means that he actually rocked out a New York crowd, and Chess is from New York. So that is what elevates you and gets you into that status right there. And I think he will do well. To be honest with you, I think there's a little underdog thing. See, that's what Chess had. You know, when Chess battles, he kind of has that young boy. I feel like this is like a mirror match. This is like Chess what came in battle rap when he was like 15, 16 or something. Yunus isn't that young, but I feel like Yunus is still like, Chess is kind of like the OG over Yunus in a way. It seemed like, so in a way, I feel like if Yunus could be a little bit of a underdog / somewhat of a favorite, like, oh, let me see if the young boy can do his numbers versus Chess. But obviously Chess will have the home field, he'll have the crowd, and people still fuck with him more. But you know, I think Yunus can do enough to actually win the battle. I'm not saying he's gonna win, this ain't no prediction blog, but I think that I think Yunus has a good chance in this battle. I will say that. And I like the matchup. I think URL did a good job picking this matchup. If we ever going to know anything about the Yunuses, the Hansels, the Kid Slays, all these other, you got to put them on a big stage. You have to put them up there. So I'm glad URL is even doing a big stage NOME, because now we get a chance to see. Yunus been battling all these small room battles. JC in a small room, about Hustle in a small room. He battled everybody in a small room. Now he gets his opportunity. I feel like it's a dope matchup, and we'll just see what the other matchups are on the card or whatever. But yeah, NOME Gramercy Theater, for those of y'all that was wondering, holds about 700 people. So therefore, pretty nice crowd. And I actually think in New York it's going to sell out. I think, because let's just say 700, I think URL can get 700 people in there. Even as down as battle rap is, I think URL can pretty much sell out Gramercy, or at least come close. You know what I'm saying? So I expect a lot of New York niggas to be on this card, to be honest with you, just because they came back to New York for a reason. So I expect there to be some heavy New York representation on this card. And I ain't mad, man. And give cars a chance. Let me say this. You know, I know a couple people was trying to say, somebody was posting that this was night of the mid events. You know what I'm saying? Not in the main events, but night of the mid events. Battle rap is lower now. You know what I'm saying? So we got to acknowledge that, and we got to change with the times and realize that every matchup ain't going to be no super crazy. And if URL is trying to find new stars, they got to put these guys to the test. So give battles a chance for the most part. You know what I'm saying? I think Yunus is putting enough work to get onto a NOME as an opening battle. It's not like he's a, you know, co-main event or nothing. So, I mean, at some point in time, the nigga got to get there. I mean, how many times you going to keep battling on the app in small rooms? So, I can't be mad that URL moved him to that category of putting him on NOME. So give it a chance, see what the rest of the card like. And it's not so much whether or not the card is good and bad on paper, it's how the battles actually turn out. That's the most important thing. And I think that we should probably get at more of a chance than anything else. Just my thoughts. Chris Unbiased. Holla at your boy.